Welcome, everybody. We are going to start with PinTech Live very, very, very soon. Pin Daddy, you made it. Hello, Daniel. Hello, Wild Man. Welcome, welcome. All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome to episode 86 of PinTech Live.
Hi.
We are working on Surf Champ
No,
Drop Targets.
I'm actually working on Wordle, and it's kicking my butt right now. This is not.
Is it Surf Champ is the answer?
You know what? For good luck, I should have started with Champ, but I wouldn't have gotten any of the letters I needed anyways. But whatever.
Tisk tisk. Hello,
Hi, everybody.
Pez and Ice Skidoo, Jim's Arcade, Insanity Falls, Pitbull Rob 60. Isn't
everybody.
it nice to be back? It's been almost a month since we've done an official PinTech Live, since before we went to Texas Pinball Festival, and Kyle took a much well-deserved vacation up in Chicago, and Crystal did a few Homebrew Live episodes. So
Yeah.
I hope y'all had a chance to check out that content while Kyle was gone. We missed you, Kyle, but Crystal killed it in a good way.
That's right.
Maybe those things can go together.
No, she
an
did.
Amazing
She
job
killed
at
it.
Homebrew Live.
She kills everything
Ryan
she puts her mind
McQuaid
to.
with Sonic Spinball one week, and then the next week we did a whole interview with Fast Pinball, which they create boards and other text to help homebrew pinball machines get going.
Yeah, they make some really
stuff.
incredible equipment. It's really cool.
Yeah, absolutely. Hello, Retro Gaming with Hopper and Michael McKenna. Welcome.
Hello, everybody.
How does
Okay.
it feel to be back, Kyle? You want to give us a little quick recap of your adventures in Chicago?
Oh, man. I'm trying to think what I can and can't tell without people getting mad at me for exposing certain karaoke events or maybe eating habits. But no, it was great. We had a good time. No days off for Kyle. I never get days off, so I had to take a few.
Hello, Good Master.
Look, it was real fun. I got to go and got to hang out with some friends at Stern in Chicago. I got to go visit the factory for the first time, which was really amazing to see how that was all laid out.
Nice.
We got to see, they were building Avengers and Rush at the time that I was there, which was really neat. You know, the way that each station is kind of laid out to work into the next one was really fascinating. I got to see a little bit of some behind the scenes Insider Connected stuff that's coming eventually. That's really cool. I'm really excited to see how that platform's going to evolve. They've got some really talented people working on that.
Nice. Yeah, and their team is growing for that too, right?
Yeah, it was cool.
Awesome.
We got to go, I was staying with my friend MXV, Mike Vinacore. I fixed a couple of his games while I was there, and we played a ton of pinball, which was really fun. He had some really special games because he has a lot of test and like sample games that he got from people that like worked on those projects when he worked at Williams. So he's got a neat sample funhouse he got from Ed Boon, who was the voice of Rudy, right? He has Dan Forden's original Medieval Madness, which is really fun. Yeah, there's just some neat games. We got to play some really interesting prototype code that him and Lyman Sheets were working on a while ago on Tron, which was interesting to see some of the ideas that they were going to try to put in place for that game. It was great, and I thank him for his hospitality.
Wow.
But
That's awesome.
yeah, it was fun. Ate a lot of hot dogs, you know. Had Puerto Rican food. It's one of my favorite cuisines, so I was stoked on that. Chicago is cold. I got to go to Logan Arcade and play there. That place is incredible. A really fantastic arcade. They have a Centaur. They have a Centaur with a really, really low replay. So I just put 50 cents in and played forever. So that was really fun. Yeah, it was a good time. Taking a vacation is much needed sometimes. I got to play Medusa with Wally Welch, the guy who made Medusa, which was really fun. He lives right behind MXV. So.
Oh, at Galloping Ghost?
Oh, we went to Galloping Ghost, yep. I got to hang out with Doc and talk to him for a while. We went into the pinball side, and Ken was taking care of all the games, and it's fantastic. They have some very interesting stuff there. I'd never gotten to play Varcon before, and that was really exciting. Varcon was a pinball game built in a video game cabinet, which is really neat. It uses a combining mirror, so you're playing the pinball game backwards, but it looks right in the mirror. Anyway, it's interesting. Varcon's neat. And they also had...
Oh, yeah, the stand-up one.
Yeah.
Sorry.
And I've played Spirit many times, but I did play Spirit there because Mike Vinacord never played Spirit, so I showed him the ropes on that. They had one of my other favorite games, Defender, Williams Defender, the pinball game, which is really interesting. It has a ton of drop targets, and it has a manual kickback, which I always thought was really fun. So a left out lane drain, you have to hit a button, and it kicks back when you push the button. So that was pretty cool. I like that game a lot. Yeah, it was a great time. Great time.
Nice.
I'm trying to think of other things that I can say without... I ate a lot of ramen. And there was karaoke at one point, so that's all I'm going to say. You might get more details later if you ask me in person, but...
Yeah, and you can ask Kyle in person because he'll be at Midwest Gaming Classic next week. I'll be there too. And a lot of our other Marco team. So who in the chat is coming to Midwest Gaming next week? And are you bringing games?
Yeah, bring your games.
They need more games. Bring more games. Benzik, fill up that truck with more games. I don't think he's in the chat right now.
That's right.
I'm just putting that
As Johnson's coming. Yay.
Pez is coming. Awesome. We have a gift for you, Pez. So stop by the booth for that.
Dude, the hot dogs were great.
Yeah, come on back. Pez is bringing Magic City.
Oh, great. Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, good choice. I'm excited to play that. That's I haven't played that game in years. And it's fun that you have that. I like that game a lot.
Yeah, that's awesome.
The hot dogs were good. Bat Out of Hell by Meatloaf. The
Chicago dogs.
The beef sandwiches were really good too, though. We went to this place called Johnny's Beef, which was right next to the Stern factory. And it was, oh gosh, it was so good. I got it spicy, so it had peppers, and then you get them wet, so they like dip it into the sauce, and it's like this, oh, it's so good. I would get really fat, I think, if I lived in Chicago, because the food there's a lot of food. We've got some good food here in Columbia, South Carolina, but it is very limited. Chicago has everything you'd ever want, and it's all delicious.
Yeah, definitely.
Sounds like an adult film title. Yes, Italian beef dipped in sauce. You know it. I got to stream with Jack Danger. That was fun.
Oh yeah, I can't believe I missed that. Oh wait, you were streaming at the exact same time we were streaming.
It was funny though, because like
all my viewers, I was interviewing Roger Sharp. How dare you?
Oh man, well that was I don't know.
I would have totally been on Jack's stream heckling you if I wasn't preoccupied.
That would have been funny, but I'll let you in on a secret actually. Jack and I were kind of heckling you because I got to swear. So I got to use like my natural vernacular, and I got to express myself using all the words I felt like using. So he was like, "Hey Kyle, you know that you can bleep swear on this show?" And I was like, "Bleep, yeah, that rules." So anyways, there might have been a bit of gin involved in the entirety of this show, but you know, whatever. Fiddlesticks. Yeah, you know. Anyways, yeah, it was wonderful. So
Fiddlesticks, yeah.
But now we're here. Well, we've got some games to work on. You know, I've got.
Yeah, you have so many parts in front of you. What's going on? I thought you were just working on drop targets.
Well, we are, but this is a customer's game, so I bought a bunch of parts, and I bought enough to restock my toolbox full of some things I needed and enough to put into the game. So I always. I never buy exactly what I need. I always buy more than I need because I'm a hoarder.
It's good to hoard pinball parts, though, right?
It can be, but there are some things.
What is it about you young people and your foul language? I don't know.
Hey man, that's how I learned to speak on the rough streets of Castro Valley. We just use these words, you know. It's
empowering to use curse words.
Yes, and I need empowerment because I am my own person. Yes, Ice-Skidoo, Marco TV is oppressing my right to free speech, but
yes, we are.
Marco TV also pays my paycheck, so I do have to know when to not put up a fight for some things. You know, fudge buckets, yeah.
Hey, we have kids watching this show, future pinball technicians, of the world. We want them to be raised right.
So I was at, so Vinicor and I went to the old Williams factory. And he was showing me around because he was like, "Oh, this is where I worked, and this was, you know, this is where the sports team was, and this is where the Mortal Kombat team was in the video game, and this was the pinball factory, blah blah blah."
Wow.
And we noticed that they were tearing down part of the building, and you know, Mike and I both kind of agreed, "Oh man, it would be fun to take a souvenir. Like I should hop the fence and like take a brick." And he was like, "Oh yeah, that would be great, but you know, someone would call the cops on you, blah blah blah." But we walked over and we saw, oh, there's a pile of bricks. We're like, oh, we need one, right? We should take a souvenir back from the, the old Williams days, right? We need that. So I go over there and I pick up these 2 bricks and I'm holding them like this, and I hear from across the street someone screaming, "Hey, what are you hooligans doing?" And I was like, oh, what the? And I looked over, and there is Jack and Laura Danger and their 2 children walking down the street.
They watched you steal?
Well,
oh my God.
No, they were just in the dirt. It was fine. But I guess Jack lives somewhere in that vicinity, and they were going on a walk. And this is getting back to swearing. we go over them, we talk for a second, and I swear in front of Jack's 2 very young children, and I was like mortified, and I was like, oh my God, I am so sorry. And then he was like, oh, don't worry, I effing do that all the time. It's no big deal. And I was like, whoop, shoot, be careful. So, yeah. So just in case there are any children around here, I apologize. I am a little rough around the edges sometimes. And sorry, Jack, again, I still feel bad, even though you do it too.
Punk kids these days.
Oh, you know what I realized? Someone unplugged these lights that make this room look better for some reason.
Oh.
Does the lighting look okay?
Softboxes?
All the softboxes.
No, I mean, it looks washy out.
Yeah, every time I come in here, someone has like unplugged them for some weird fiddlesticks reason. I don't understand why. I'll have to get to the bottom of that. Anyways, so yeah, that was my really dumb story, and it was fun. But yes, I do in fact have a brick I put in my suitcase and brought here for my bit of dumb history. What? I have a brick from the old Bally factory on Belmont Street also. So I have 2 important bricks in pinball history now.
What are you going to do with these bricks?
Nothing. I hoard things. I mean, I'll probably put them on a shelf somewhere one day. Wow, you just made me bigger. That's
All right,
funny.
Kyle, let's work on some drop targets, yeah?
Yeah, well, yeah, we'll work on it. So yeah, anyways, I have a bunch of parts here. We've got a lot of cosmetic stuff, including drop targets. When I'm working on an old game like this,
watching the stream.
You always want to replace a lot of these old plastic bits because they're brittle and they become brittle, and you replace, you never want to replace just one. So actually, I've also removed the ability for people to just buy 1 drop target for Gottlieb games from our website. Anyways, you should always buy them as a set. They break. So we've got those. I've got bits for the pop bumpers here. Gottlieb used these really wonderful screened pop bumper caps. I'm sorry, pop bumper bodies. So again, it's like, it's these little things that make a big difference. So we're replacing those as well with some new ones, new pop bumper caps, because it's just worth it, right? It makes the game look that much better. So that's why I've got all sorts of parts here. On my bench, I have a lot of the old parts from when I was working on this a few weeks ago. So I've got a pile of posts. Which camera's on? Look at this one. Just a bunch of old, nasty yellow posts.
Yeah.
A lot of the times I will keep these. I kind of keep them in a box I usually just call pinball parts for art. But you also never know when you might need a post. Sometimes on some games you might find that the drop targets will get, a ball will get stuck behind the rubber for the drop target, and it's great to have an extra post, maybe especially if it's out of sight most of the time, to be able to install there. Just, save a little bit of money. Now, at the same time, these new posts, which are gorgeous and very bright white, they are very cheap.
Yeah.
But what I've done on this game is I've replaced all of the visual posts with new white ones, and sometimes I'll leave one of these like little yellow ones hidden in the back somewhere where no one would ever see it anyways because they're obscured by a plastic. But again, I'm a hoarder. You don't need to keep stuff like this, but I find them useful. And I've got all the old plastics. I think I will put a new set of plastics on this game because the game is quite nice, and these are, some of them are broken, and they just don't look right when they've cracked in this sort of a position, and tried to have been repaired previously as well.
That's the old plastic. Oh no.
Yeah.
It looks kind of faded too, right? Some fade, or is that the actual color of?
No, that's actually kind of the color palette. They do look kind of muted though. But yeah, no, this is the color palette. I think maybe the greens and the blues will end up being a little more vibrant on the newer plastics, but yeah. Mango Slice is enjoying John Chad's new book. Hey, great. I'm glad that you were able to get it and check it out. It's a wonderful book. I just got mine a couple weeks ago, or days ago, and I've been enjoying looking at it.
Mango Slice won it on the Big Picture Pinball Show raffle. Actually.
Oh, that's fantastic. Oh, great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Everyone should buy it.
Roger Sharp spoke with John Chad a lot during that and kind of consulted him on a lot of the history.
Oh, that's
So it's a
fantastic.
cool little Easter egg in there.
Yeah, that's great. It's a great book. I definitely recommend everyone check it out. We sell it on our website. It's on our front page right now. And if not, if you've got a local bookstore you like to support, also please support them because local bookstores do need money to keep the lights on. So
Yes.
let me go throw away a little bit of garbage here. And this drop target bank is honestly in the perfect position to not need to take it out of the box. Hold on, I need to look at...
I'm gonna read Grumpy's
No, I'm reading it
message.
too.
Well, I want to read it out loud for everyone else. He
Okay.
says, "You won't sell a single Gottlieb drop target anymore? What about the idiot who puts all new drop targets in an Eldorado, but also puts hot flipper coils in and breaks a lower target within weeks? Or someone who forgot to remove the ball before transporting a Jack-in-the-Box and will surely break a target when they put the game back on."
I'm going to point out a few words. Idiot.
Buy the whole set and then just keep the rest for a rainy day.
Well, first off, idiot is a key word. That person is dumb. No, I'm just kidding. We can't. You can't buy individual targets anymore either. Anyways, from Steve. Steve won't sell them individually, so we buy them as sets. And I don't break them up because that is a nightmare for stock. Because you also have the same problem with that proverbial, idiot that just buys one drop target. So if you keep 20 in stock for Jack-in-the-Box and you have someone buy 2, well, then suddenly you don't have 2 in stock anymore. So it makes a lot more sense to just sell them as sets, and that's also how we are sold them, so that's how I do it too. So
Yeah, Grumpy.
Yeah, geez. What I'm about to do is definitely overkill. This drop target bank is in a very easy place to work on to swap out the drop targets. We were just talking about 2 games that are not very easy to work on, like Jack-in-the-Box or El Dorado.
I've done one of the things I listed.
What's up?
Is he the idiot or the someone?
No. Everyone's been an idiot sometimes. I don't take idiot as a derogatory term. It's just kind of a mental state that happens every once in a while, and there's no avoiding it. I'm perpetually an idiot, but it's fine. What I was trying to say is this drop target bank is actually really easy to work on, and it would be extraordinarily simple for me to remove these drop targets while it's in the game. It's also a lot easier to see what's going on if I were to remove the drop target bank. Thankfully, this one is also quite easy to remove from the game. To remove this, I'm going to unsolder the coil. I'm going to unsolder the switch wires. And I'm going to unscrew the all-down switch, which is in the front, and just the switch is mounted to an easily removable plate. That will allow me to unscrew it from the playfield, and then we can go bring it over to the bench. Most games, this is the easiest way to do it. On this game, I'm creating more work for myself, but hopefully we'll be able to kind of look at the mechanism a little easier than having it constrained inside the game. So, yeah. Let's do it. I'm going to unsolder stuff now.
Hello, RB Flip France. Welcome.
Hey, what's up?
Look, Kyle's back.
I am. I'm not dead.
He's back finally. When you're done soldering that one part, can you pan the Sony camera over a little bit? Or at least walk it over to the game?
I'm only going to be over here for like 5 more minutes, so I don't know if you want me to do all that just to have to put it back in like 5 minutes. But you say yes or no, and I'll go do it.
Yeah, well, you got a lot of negative space over there. But in the meantime...
Well, here, you know what I can do is...
You're taking off the whole assembly and bringing it to the bench?
Yes, I'm going to bring this all over to the bench, and it's going to just take me 1 minute to get this thing all apart. So.
All right, let's do this then. Bam. Beautiful.
I mean, how to do it in place would be exactly how we're going to do it on the bench, just without taking the entire thing off the game. You remove the back panel And you'll see. It's pretty easy to translate. M. Kunzelman asked this question. It's quite easy to translate once we have it on the bench. So.
Yes, Insanity Falls. Kyle's face is a positive emote on Twitch. I'd like to think so too. All of our emotes are positive, really. Even old Cletus.
Yeah. Hey.
Cletus is the one that left the ball in the game when you transported and broke the drop target.
Hey, Cletus had best intentions. Cletus might be lazy, but
we all have little Cletus inside of us.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, look, no one is infallible. I've dropped the heads of pinball machines like onto onto the bodies and smashed the side rails, right? I mean, it just happens.
Yeah, and I've watched you drop pinball machines on your head too.
It just happens.
Horrifying.
I've broken many things in my time, and if you don't make mistakes, you never learn. So, but Cletus is like chaotic good.
I skip you. You get me.
Cletus has the best intentions, but Cletus is also lazy and not taking the extra steps to do things correctly. So like, again, good intentions, but not necessarily a perfect actor.
Boise Pinball asked, what's the name of the metal part in there that the spring's attached to?
The what?
I missed it. The metal part that the springs are attached to. On the drop target assembly?
I don't know. Let's take it apart and then maybe we can figure out what piece you're asking. Oh, unless he's making a joke because this is...
Was there an inside joke?
Yeah, yes, I think I see what you're doing now, and we will address it collectively once that comes up. And then maybe I can tell a not inappropriate, but a dirty story about back in my car parts warehouse days. But remember Gottlieb used slotted screws for almost everything, which kind of sucks, but it's also, I've kind of gotten over it. I much prefer a nice Phillips head. They're easier to work with, but having a good
and
couple...
Grumpy says, I love to remove a bank to replace targets, but always remove more parts and not unsolder the nice old beautiful factory solder joints.
Yeah, I'm not going to unsolder all these switches. I agree, but I also... I agree, but also I'm not going to do that. I do think the soldering that Gottlieb was able to produce on these games is just fantastic. But oh, I forgot. There's one more switch. Oh, and I can't just remove that one either. All right. We have the 10-point switch on the back of the target for the rebound rubber. And part of that circuit is tied in with these wires for the actual drop target downs, so I can't just remove it. I do need to unsolder one edge. There are times when it is kind of unavoidable, though, like with Jack in the Box. I've tried to change drop targets on Jack in the Box, or 2001. 2001's a bit easier because at least they run parallel with the long side of the playfield, but Jack in the Box, it was much easier for me to unsolder 22 connections than it was for me to just try and break my back to do it. All right, this camera is moving, so it's going to be a little weird for a second. Sorry.
Oh, God. Let's get out of here.
Okay, I'll move this desk over, and then I'll try to get a good shot facing down of what we're looking at here. Oh, man.
You don't want to move the Sony?
What?
The Sony camera? This one? Your face?
Oh. I can bring that out if we need to, but I think we could do okay with the overhead view. So this is
only just so we see you more.
Oh, yeah, I see. Yeah, because I moved the desk. Yeah, I'm sorry. I forgot that I had moved the desk. Oop.
Felt like my Quest 2 for a second. Yeah, I know. I have to take Dramamine now before I put those goggles on. Getting old. Awesome. Thank you, Kyle. That's great.
Okay. So put this camera on, please. Yeah. So we've got, let's kind of look at the anatomy of this drop target bank, because I know we've done this with a Bally one before. So it's actually, it looks very complicated. There's a lot of holes and weird things going on here, but it's pretty simple. So we have, let me kind of remember what was going on here too. So we've got a coil, obviously, right? This is a 110 volt coil, I think. This coil, when energized, let me grab it this way. It will actuate, right? So the plunger comes in and resets all the drop targets in one go. So we have a reset bar here, right? And that is moved and it's pivoted by the coil itself, right? So it's fixed on this side as well. Okay, and let's get this out of the way. I'm not going to say it, but you can see the part that the spring is attached to right here. It also goes through the drop targets. This is the only time we're going to mention this part, but it does have a certain shape that might make people giggle. And this is what Boise Pinball was trying to have me say on the air. So,
but what is it actually called?
I don't know. It's a drop target arm. That's what I'm going to call it. If this wasn't as family-friendly of a show, I'd probably call it a little something funnier, but you can imply what's going on here, right?
What, like drop target leg? I'm just kidding. Just trying to play ignorant.
Oh, you weren't trying to be funny? Oh. No, I'm not sure if the joke is being played on me or not, because it very much looks like something that is a part of the human anatomy.
Any issues that those get dinged up? So I guess, do those break? And if they do, how would you figure out how to replace it?
I've never ever.
It would be all with a whole assembly, right?
Personally, I've never seen one worn out enough to necessitate replacing, honestly. Maybe I've just been lucky, but the only real action they get is from the reset bar slamming into them. But yeah. One other thing that we have on this, hold on, let me try to remember how this works too, because then you have the series bar as well. So let me. I forgot how that bar works, but there is a. Oh, yeah, okay. So the way that the game knows when all of the switches are the drop targets are down. So let's kind of look at the other anatomy of the game too, because older Gottlieb games would actually use two sets of switches. It would be or some games in certain applications. I'm going to use Jack in the Box. Okay, yeah, David is confirming that they can wear, because there is a U-channel bit. Okay, so let's before I explain the switches, let's look back at the reset bar. Do you see that U-channel bit that's sitting on the bar? So that bit here, see how there's kind of you've got your main bar here, and then there's this bit that goes perpendicular to it. When those go away, the reset bars, or the drop target dogs, I'll call them that, they can wear, because this gives it a nice half-inch perch to slam against and push up, as opposed to if that U-channel piece wasn't there, you would just be having that eighth-inch piece of stainless digging into them over and over and over and over again. So we'll look at, you'll kind of see once we take it apart. Anyways, going backwards, we've got a couple sets of switches here. On my Jack in the Box, that is kind of another reason why that game is such a PITA to take apart, but there is a switch on every drop target that also tells the game to turn a light on when it's down. So what we have on this game is we have 5 switches because we've got 5 drop targets. So when we have a drop target fall, that did you see this action? If I do it slowly, right? When we've got a drop target up and stationary, we've got an open switch. When it falls, it makes contact. Do you see that?
Mm-hmm.
And then it will open again. That's for scoring. That will add points right there, right? So we've got 5 of these things that will change state once, but then go to an open state again. So points, open, points, open. So how does the game know when all the targets are down to either reset them or do something else? We've got another bar inside, and that's called the series bar, I think. But you've got this piece right here. I'm sorry, this one. Right? So that's sitting parallel with this front face right here. There is another switch that attaches to a bracket right here, and it is normally closed. But watch what happens to that series bar when I drop all these drop targets. Again, we're looking at this piece right here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Well, if I was holding it right, you'd see that it falls away, right? So now that it's fallen away, that switch is going to either open or close. I forget how it's orientated, and that tells the game all of the drop targets are down. On some other designs on like certain Bally games or something like that, like if we use a solid state model, for example, the game will see that, switch 1, 2, 3, 4, and now 5 is closed. Okay, well now that all 5 are down, we need to reset the bank. In electromechanical speak, we need another input to figure out when everything is down in series. So that's kind of what that bar does. Anywho, let's get to work. It's super easy to change these drop targets out. It's also been a minute since I've done it. But with these guys, we can fish them all out through the back. So if this was still in the game, we could leave it kind of hanging there, and we'd need to remove this back panel. So let's get to it. I'm going to get my screwdriver, which I don't know where I put it in the game.
Have you ever used one of these wow sticks?
No. The heck is it?
A precision screwdriver wow stick.
It makes me say wow. That's interesting.
Wow. 56 bits.
Yeah, it's probably a bunch of specialty bits for like really small stuff.
Transmission Arcade uses a wow stick. Hey, maybe we should get wow sticks for our website. Marco wow stick. Come on, Kyle.
Man, I'm old school. I don't use any of this cool stuff. Back in my day, we didn't have wow sticks. Back in my day.
My wow stick.
Yeah, it's
wow
not.
Stick doesn't sound dirty. It sounds exciting.
David is right. I'm just trying to give people some confidence here. This is not super easy, but it's not that hard. But also, look, even though you could do this in the game, it took me 3 extra minutes to unsolder everything, and it'll take me 10 extra minutes to resolder everything. But it is a joy to work on this stuff on the bench. So I'd much prefer putting in a little bit of extra. Even though I'm the world's laziest person, this makes the job so much smoother. So it's much easier to remove everything. So off comes the back plate. And I think if I remember right, it's the easiest way to do this is to get things loose, because we do need a little bit of wiggle room to get some of these things apart. So I think the way we're going to loosen it up a little bit is to loosen the top plate. If I remember right, that is the easiest way to do it. This thing is overbuilt. Almost everything in a Gottlieb pinball machine is way, way, way overbuilt, which is fantastic, but it also makes them kind of a pain in the butt to service. The hardest part on these Gottlieb games is definitely messing with the springs. Getting the springs inside the drop targets is kind of a pain in the butt. David, I don't drop springs. I'm a master.
Remember when the spring flew across the room, though?
That was a drill bit.
No,
So-
this was after. This is like a year later.
Springs always
And then
go.
Roller Pinball said it's with the drill bit.
Ah.
I think he said.
Hey, if it takes you 2 hours to figure out how to do something one time, it'll take you way less than that the next time. So count that in as learning experience. I'm going to remove the, I like to remove the spring from the oddly shaped object. And now that we've got a little bit of free play in here, I hopefully will have enough room to kind of wiggle this in and out. Not so much. Okay, you know what we're going to do then? We're just going to do it 100%. I'll just remove the top bank as well. Now we have all the room in the world. So I've removed the top bank, so we kind of have the front and the bottom faces on now. This will allow me to finagle the drop target out of its carrier, let's call it that, which will then allow me to have a little bit of room to snake it out the bottom, which also makes it a lot easier to get to the spring. The springs do get caught. Let me show you this. We'll go over this a little slower once I get it out. Just once I get my, my pacing going here. This is all coming back to me slowly. I like to use like a dental pick or something like that to help me pop the wires off of the hook inside the drop target. So we got the spring off. Let me show you that hook that we were talking about. So this is the face of the drop target, right? We've got our ledge, and that's what it sits on the top of the drop target bank. And it's pretty simple. The ball hits it, it falls off the ledge, and the spring pulls it down. That's the hook. Do you see how the hook is facing the back of the drop? Oh, here, let me turn off the ring light.
Oh, yeah.
The hook is facing backwards, right? That's the back of the target. This is the front of the target. So the hook, the spring is a little bit of a pain to get off of the target. When you reinstall these, we'll be installing the spring onto the drop target first, and then stringing it over our, I'm going to keep calling it the carrier.
The housing?
No, this part. You can see it better now. Do you see?
Oh, the spear.
Sure, yeah, the spear. It's the spear.
Yeah.
So we're going to remove all of those. I'm going to take the, we're going to take off the, I like to take the spring off of the spear. Then we can kind of work the spear up into a point where I can pull the drop target off of the spear, get it out of the bottom of the housing. Now I can wiggle the spring off of the target's hook, nice and out, remove the target through the top.
Awesome.
Do that 5 times. Now tell me, this is why you do have to think about this kind of stuff when you're getting into an El Dorado, maybe, or a 2001, when you have to do 20 drop targets. You only have to do it once in probably your lifetime, but it's an involved job.
Yeah, and remember to take pictures of your assembly in the game and then after the game, and as many pictures and angles you could possibly do, because if you have to walk away from this install because you left your oven on or something,
Yeah.
and the house is on fire, you may forget exactly where everything goes.
And that wouldn't be
Kyle
good.
doesn't have to worry about that because he has 30 frames per second documenting him.
Well, I've also pushed out every important part of my life that used to live in my memory bank so I could remember all this crap. So, you know, don't do that, kids.
Filling your brain with pinball is great, though.
All right, all the old targets are out. This is where we clean. I will go get I'll go get some paper towels, and we can kind of wipe up because there isn't. Too bad the spear isn't. Okay, I think someone has kind of looked and seen what the spear is, so people are starting to kind of figure out what's going on. Here, I'll leave you with a visual while I go grab some paper towels, and you guys can kind of implore what I'm talking about. Let me go. So what I kind of like to do, though, is I like to split these things into like the dirty and the clean section. You know, this isn't too dirty. This whole game actually isn't really dirty. But we do want to remove some grime. We want to clean and make sure that things are looking good. But we also don't want to muck up our brand new, clean, nice drop targets. Right? If we started to do that with fingers that looked like this, you'd have some smudges to clean up. So let's try to keep clean. Ooh. Oh, nice.
All right, while Kyle is cleaning himself, you might actually still be hearing him. I don't hear him, but you probably hear the sink going off. Just a reminder to everyone that our 24-hour free shipping for orders over $99 code is in all caps, PT-champ. Very original. And if you're international, you'll get $10 off your order for over $99 using the same code. Just use the international checkout page for that.
Nice.
Emoto's typing audio is very loud. I know. I'm typing with a fierce, getting ready for Midwest Gaming Classic
Jeez.
motion.
So there are a bunch of people here while I was gone, and they used all the paper towels and didn't fill it back up. So I am left with napkins. Napkins.
Oh, hold on. This is going to make life so much.
Hello. Check, check. 1, 2.
You putting a filter on?
I can't believe I did that. Oh, such a noob.
Wow, God.
All right, how's that? Now you won't hear my computer fan. You won't hear my loud typing.
You can see that Emoto,
Thank you.
she's just kind of
I
here.
know. I can't believe it. I was listening to it earlier during the audio checks, and I was like, oh, yeah, it sounds great. But, oh, yeah, this is way better. Thanks, y'all. Thanks for bringing that up because I would have not checked, and y'all would have just been, like, upset with me.
Wow, Emoto's ignoring us.
It doesn't sound like 1993 anymore. I know. Hey, that was a good year.
I kind of wish it did sound like 1993 still. Music was better back then. I'm not getting into the...
Bird Bookie says, my approach for the metal stuff is simple green spray, wait a few, wipe, rinse, dry with air gun to ensure no rust or residue. Move on.
Absolutely. That's a great way to do it. Unfortunately, I'm not in a real shop, and I don't have any of that stuff at my disposal. So I am going to degunk using what I have, which is napkins.
Well, Pez, it's like, I know which audio it's supposed to go through, and then you restart Zoom, you expect it to be all settled because it mostly is, but then sometimes Zoom is like, no, I'm going to just give you microphone array and not your actual microphone. Fez is like, I know, every day they tell me the same thing.
Yeah, but I mean, look at the plating on this stuff. Look at how nice this looks. So many years on, you know?
Yeah, that is really clean.
It's over 40 years old, and it's really, really, really nice still. They made some very, very high quality parts, always. So, anywho, now we can kind of do, you know, the reassembly is opposite of disassembly. So, one thing to remember. Actually, now I need to remember because I don't remember which way was front and which way was back. I don't think it actually matters, but I'm pretty sure it went this way because I remember the gunk being on the side with the drop targets. I think Gottlieb did use a little bit of like a lube, some sort of a thin lubricant on the fronts of the drop targets, and I think that's kind of what I was cleaning up. Was you can see some residue here, and there was a lot of goop. Also, I mean, there could have been many years of technicians putting goop and stuff onto the drop targets to help them slide better. You should be able to assemble all of these things without using any lubrication. You can definitely, sometimes lubrication is necessary in certain bits, but we're going to keep this clean and assemble it without lube, and we should be good. So, one mistake I've seen people I've tried to teach this before to do without my supervision is they kind of forget the order that this goes in. The drop targets need to go in through the top before you can do any of the rest of the job. So we're going to start from this side and move backwards. So I'm going to put a drop target in here. I'm going to attach a spring, right?
I want to see. No, we are zoomed all the way out. Yeah, if you could. Yeah, there you go. Show us what you got.
Be gentle with springs. These springs, I mean, you do need to replace them sometimes. Especially if someone's done some nasty work to them. But we can slide this spring over the hook. Sometimes you do need the tool. This is where Grumpy EM Doctor's fun, snarky comment of, "Oh, Kyle's the only person that's ever said this is easy." And yeah, I'm slowly remembering that it is.
And he made his own tool for grabbing that too.
Yeah. Well,
thank you, Worthwhile Panda. Thanks for joining us in the chat. Yes, we save all of our streams on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/Marco Pinball. You can watch the live stream on there too. We like you guys being in chat because we can do more fun interactive stuff, but we have people watching on the YouTube stream, and then of course that's where it will live forever. So if you ever need to go back and work on some Gottlieb drop targets, you can watch Kyle
on the struggle
steer
bus?
His drop target in there. It's like a puzzle. Oh, don't bend it.
Well, that's the fun thing about pinball is like a lot of the assemblies are kind of just like taking puzzles apart. I mean, that's why I like mechanical things, is they are...
Dental hooks. Yeah, we also have a hook and priding set on our website too that would be good for this. Hook and probe.
Oh yeah, that was... Okay, this is the fire. So...
Yeah, the 5 piece of pinball. Do you remember what they are? Who remembers?
Poke, prod,
it's the
pry.
4 Ps. 4.
I don't remember. What did Mark say they were?
4 Ps of pinball repair. Poking, prying, punching, and probing.
That is true. Those
and we
are
have
great.
The perfect set for that.
I think if I loosen this side just a teeny bit too, this does become a little easier to get them in. But there are 2 methods or 2 ways you can kind of do this. Loosen it up a little bit so it's got some flex, or...
Oh, Ice Kitty, that's awesome. I'm glad that helped.
What I've found also is if you stick the drop target in with the spear...
Pez is the 5th P of pinball.
With the spear kind of to the side, we've got the drop target through. Then what you can do is you can kind of push the drop target in and bend the spear into the slot and then drop it through. So I can try to show that again. That's kind of also how I generally remove these things too. We pull it to its top bit, bend the drop target backwards, remove the spear, and now they're kind of running side by side, and then I can pull it out, right? So what we can do to get them in as well, stick it in, bend the drop target back just a teeny bit. And oh, hold on, I got it in the wrong position. Have it at its like most extended bit, right, where the cleat is grabbing the bottom. Pull it back a teeny bit, and then you can slide the spear in just like that. And that is what keeps it captive. Now,
Wisp, thank you for the resubscribe. Hope to see you next weekend at Midwest Gaming Classic.
Yeah, I really hope so too. Now we just need to hook the spring onto the spear, right? We've got the hook, the tab there, where my finger is. You can kind of see that it's a hook. Here's the thing, with the end ones, you're going to do this and you're going to be like, oh, that's really easy because I've got plenty of room to grab it with my fingers and snake it around and get it onto that hook. The problem comes is when you've got like your 4 or 5 drop targets deep, it's a lot more difficult to get your fingers around them. So the end 2 are quite easy.
Can you start with the middle and work out?
Nah, that doesn't really work as easy that way. So we'll stick this guy in. Remember, we have to kind of fully stick it through the top, get our spring. We're going to insert the spring from the face of the drop target. Backwards. I got that one around without a tool. That was easy. Sometimes you do need the tool, so the little picks are really handy. We're going to insert the drop target into the bottom of the cage, get it pulled up. I'm going to grab the spear, pull it upwards, bend the target just a teeny bit, and insert it like that. And then see if I can get this spring easy as well. See if my dexterity is up. Nope. So at this point, now springs are an exercise in frustration. I'm lucky that I kind of have some skinny fingers, so they're easy to squeeze in between and manipulate. Some people don't have really skinny fingers and you need tools to help you manipulate them. But, you know, again, the dental picks are really handy. So I have a hook-shaped one and a straight one. Be careful, they are sharp, and you can hurt yourself. It's like if anyone's a motorcyclist, I mean, a lot of old motorcycles use springs to hold the exhaust pipes, like to the cylinders, right? So I have some spring pullers that I'll use to, like, you know, get my pipes onto my dirt bikes or other motorcycles and stuff like that. It's kind of similar. You'll grab one end of the spring, pull, and then try to use this tool to manipulate it onto the hook, and then hook it in. But see, now here's what I was saying, right? It's like, could we have done this with it in the game? Like, yeah, absolutely. Would it have been like 1,000 times more of a pain in the butt? Yeah, for sure. It's always worth it. I can't stress this enough, to spend an extra couple minutes to make things easier. Sometimes you got to spend time to save time, you know? I've learned this through experience and trying to save time when sometimes you just got to do it the hard way, or the perceived hard way, which actually is the easy way. This is not frustrating. This is actually quite relaxing.
Yeah.
I love doing this stuff, man. It's like, especially bench work. I love working on things on the bench. Slow and steady wins the pinball repair race. Yeah, that is the truthism. Get that in. We'll move this guy in, get it through, pull it back just a teeny bit, spear it. Oh, yep, there it goes. And now pull that spring over this hook. I definitely would say, like, the best advice would be to try and obviously do it in this order. Maybe there's a better way to do it, but getting the spring onto the drop target first makes it so much easier. You imagine I can't imagine trying to finagle that spring on after it's already been on the spear. in. Pull it up, get that spear up. Bend it out, slip it in. And I was able to get all of these without using a tool onto that hook. So actually, extra points for Kyle. Now I'm struggling with the spring. Come on. Don't celebrate before it's over. Don't get cocky, kid. Oh, I'm failing. This one's a little harder because the series bar is in the way. There it goes. Ta-da!
Oh, hey, Fliptronic.
Hi,
Fliptronic says, oh, on their Surf Champ. Is it a Surf Champ? When I play a game, it changes player each ball on a one-player game. Tried cleaning and adjusting the coin unit and player unit, but no luck.
You need to make sure the coin unit is actually stepping. The coin unit might be stuck on player 4 or something like that, and it's always going to think it's in a 4-player game in that case.
Oh. I think I have to do that with my Aztec, too.
Oh, yeah, I forgot you bought that.
With Aztec, I'm not there, so I just hear this information. When they're playing a 2-player game, halfway through the game, the 3rd and 4th player will start scoring points during a 1-player or 2-player.
Williams did it different, though. Williams did player and coin handling different than Gottlieb did, so I don't remember how Williams did it off the top of my head. As actually, I do have that problem with my Grand Prix every once in a while too, and
I remember that.
Sitting on the phone with David for a minute, and he was like, "Oh, it's like let's look here, here, and here," and it was one of those things, and I do not remember what it was, and I don't remember. I forget how Williams did that circuit, so.
I'm just going to sign up with the Fun with Pinball.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Best advice is just sign up for the Fun with Pinball class. You'll learn something.
I'm going to drop a link to y'all in the chat. If you're not familiar with the Fun with Pinball repair, online repair clinic, it's completely free. You sign up with your EM that has an issue with your webcams ready, and during the clinic, they will call you up. You'll show off your issues, and then everyone will look at schematics and help you fix it. And there's amazing coaches in there. Grumpy EM Doctor, who you see in our chat a lot, is one of them, and they work magic. Yeah. So there's a link right there if you all want to sign up for the next one. Next one is slated to.
So I think.
Not sure.
I don't see who asked it.
Should be.
Oh, Pez Johnson said something about the ball count, player and ball count being the same. It is on Gottlieb games. We talked about that once. It's like what? How many steps? It's like a 17. No, it's more. Well, look, there's a player unit and a ball unit in the back. And what that does is it'll step through, ball 1, player 1, ball 1, P2, ball 1, P3, ball 1, P4, ball 2, P1, ball 2, P2. It'll 25 steps. It's more than that. It's 5 times. Yeah, no, it is. Sorry, my brain isn't working today. I'm still on vacation time. It's over 20 steps. But it takes input on where to stop from, I think Gottlieb called it the coin unit. So there is a coin unit that tells how many players are in the game. So if I put in 1 coin, it's going to step up once. 2 coins, it'll step up twice. 3 coins, it'll step up 3 times, right, to simulate 3 or 4 players. So that's why when you play a 1-player Gottlieb game on a 4-player machine, so you'll play a 1-player game on a 4-player machine, it'll step up to once, you'll drain the ball, it'll do its bonus countdown, and then you'll hear it go step, 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 because it's stepping through B1, P2, B1, P3, B1, P4 up into be 2P1, ball 2, player 1, right? So you've got two stepper units that have to work correctly. So for whatever reason, the thing I always say to start with, and you're probably going to need to do this, Jordan, is you need to go in and you need to do all of the steppers. There's really no getting around it. You need to verify, open it up, and make sure that every single stepper unit steps exactly how it should. The test I always give it is it has to be able to step like slower than it would ever physically be stepping in real life, right? In the game itself, the coil's going to go on, it's going to fire the solenoid, and it's going to let go. You're going to get all that tension going in and the spring pressure going out to step the step unit. But if you've done it right, you've got it clean and adjusted correctly, you should be able to go in and then just gently let it off, and it should be able to step. I will show that on some of these steppers back here. And that's when you know they're clean and they'll reliably work. You're going to be chasing your tail like a bazillion ways until Sunday if you don't ensure all the steppers are working correctly. I cannot emphasize that enough.
Did we do a stepper episode? We haven't gotten there yet?
We've done a bazillion stepper episodes.
No, I mean with Surf Champ specifically.
Yes. We've done 3.
Yeah, episode 84. Gottlieb Surf Champ stepper units. I will post a link in the chat.
Well, it's just I think we just took them apart and made sure that they stepped through, and that is the most important bit. I think we've done them on old Williams games too, on Hotline. I need to finish that damn game.
Ooh, you cussed. Fired.
That's not cussing. You can say that on the radio.
Oh.
I'm going to make sure we've got all of these tight now that we've kind of loosened a few things. And we need to ensure proper functionality before we go start buttoning everything up. No binding. I mean, yeah, you need to really make sure. The binding is the scary bit. These brackets have little dimples in them to help you get them to sit 90 degrees.
Oh.
So that dimple goes in this small hole here, and it helps it sit correctly. Sometimes, I mean, you can get it like a degree or two off, so sometimes you might need to loosen them, but it's really not that big of a deal. Anyways, those are in there now. I'm going to wipe my hands again. Turn the page, clean your hand. Turn the page, clean your hand.
What?
It's a Rocko's Modern Life thing. Or wash your hands. You don't remember that? Did you ever watch Rocko's Modern Life?
Oh, I love Rocko's Modern Life. I don't remember that part, though.
Yeah, it's a Filbert. Turn your page, wash your hands. You got to keep your books clean. Anyway, we're going to grab this thing. We're going to pop all the targets up.
Yes, that's awesome. Now, Michael McKenna said the Barry Oursler Memorial Tournament is this Sunday at What's Brewing in San Antonio.
Fantastic.
And I think the silent auction with Project Pinball is still open for that too. I'll look for a link if anyone has it. Probably Fliptronics, y'all have it. If you want to post it in the chat, please feel free to. I'll kind of try to dig for it too. Oh, pinball trivia. All right, Kyle. You've been requested.
Oof. Hold on. I'm on the spot. This is tough. I'm gonna try to use something as reference. What is the name of the game show host on Bally's The Game Show? All the Wikipedia warriors are going, or the IPDB warriors are going to town right now.
Steve.
Oh.
Keith McTeeth? Is it Keith McTeeth?
It is. It is. But now I'm not sure. But
it's always Mr. Loaf.
He's real quick. He's real quick at that IPDB. So I was gonna say. No, I'm just kidding. Well, what does he win?
I'm pulling up the auction link.
What does Bad Outta Hell by Meatloaf win?
Oh, there was a photo of Mark.
Gets a high five. Good job, dude.
It's a...
Oh, what the hell?
You did it on the last show you did. That was like a month ago. How do you remember that? We don't even remember
I can't even remember what I did 2 weeks ago.
Oh, Kyle.
Okay, now I feel embarrassed. Hold on.
Oh.
How many, I need to confirm this. Hold on. Wait, no, I can't ask that question because this guy owns that game too. He's disqualified forever.
All right.
No, hold on.
So,
no, all writing. We have to get a good trivia question.
I think it's if you guys are interested in a Hot Wheels playfield by American Pinball, you can enter for a chance to win, and all the money raised will go to the Owsler family, which is awesome.
Okay, I got one.
Halfway there to the goal, and then they will raffle it off. And then, yeah, if you are local or in the area of San Antonio, you should definitely check out the Memorial Tournament at What's Brewing. They had the most beautiful poster of that, too, and they had them pinned up everywhere at Texas Pinball Festival. It was really nice.
You know what's something neat? I forget his name, but Mike Vinacore was telling me that Barry Owsler's brother, who is also passed away at this point, actually ran what was in the engineering department at Williams back in the day. So Vinacore used to run the test game program for Midway, and then he also started doing some of the pinball stuff too. So when I pulled out a bunch of his tools to kind of work on some of his games, he was like, "Oh, blah blah Owsler gave me that tool." So it was kind of neat, you know. I didn't know that.
Oh, that's awesome. Grumpy, no, Kyle did not drop any spring. He reassembled in record time while keeping his hands clean, and we took a minute to promote the Fun with Pinball online repair clinic.
That's right.
And said that you are all of our heroes. You are the hero of us all.
You are.
And hopefully we'll see you at Golden State. I hope.
Yeah, you better.
Does Grumpy come to Golden State, Kyle? This is my first one.
No, you've been there before.
Golden State Pinball Expo, I have never attended.
Oh, well, it's the best show.
Yet.
Yeah, David will be there. He's one of the, he's on the board.
Yeah, he'll be in Lodi.
Good. Yeah, I'll be there too, David. Actually, David, wait. Yeah, I'm gonna be in California. I'm giving myself a vacation again, so I'm gonna be in California for the 2 days after Golden State. So I'll be there the Monday and the Friday after. I wanted to take one of my friends to the annex. So I need to call you. Oh, you're not on the board. Okay, you're just a volunteer because you rule. But would you help me get into the annex? I want to talk to Mike too. I want to see him, but. I'd love to see you also outside of pinball show stuff, probably on the Monday following Golden State. So.
You're taking a full week. You're coming back Friday from California?
No, Wednesday. So I have Monday and Tuesday.
Like, dang,
I have Monday to go
PinTech
record shopping with
Live?
Mike. I've got Tuesday to hang out with my family that I haven't seen in 2 years. And then I get to come back to work. So. Anyways, I'm going to put this back in the game. So I'm just going to kind of point this back over here, and you guys can kind of watch me just screw it back into the game.
No. But we should take a moment to talk about Pogs. If y'all haven't heard, there's a Pinball Pog revolution happening. So go in all of your storage unit, grab your Pogs out. We play for keeps, and there's going to be a big tournament at Midwest Gaming Classic next weekend where hopefully you win a lot of really cool Pogs. And stop by our booth and ask for our limited edition Marco Pogs. We got them.
And bring me a beer, and then I'll give you a high five.
I'll be bringing my Pogs, my Media Play Pogs, and my Simpsons Pogs. I think Fliptronic mentioned that they wanted to win some of my Simpsons Pogs. But that will be hard because I am a slammer beast. And I will win them all back before you can steal them from me. Pogs. Yeah, Pogs a thing now.
Thanks.
Oh, Old School EMs has a whole album of Pogs for us to fight over.
Okay. You can give them to Emoto at the Northwest Pinball and Arcade show.
Yeah, that's coming up.
I'm not going to that, am I?
Oh, look, from Borg Dog. It's a good question. I'm not sure. I don't think so. Maybe not. Borg Dog says, big thanks to Marco Pinball for a recent tech stream going through score reels. Learned enough to feel confident to troubleshoot my 10K reel intermittently not rolling over. Turned out to be a loose stripped lock nut on the coil stop of all things.
Oh, fantastic.
That's awesome.
Oh, that's awesome. Good. Hey, I'm
Win
glad.
all the Simpsons Fox. No.
I'm glad I could have taught somebody something.
My poor Pox.
It's my
I
goal
have some
in life.
doubles, so it's okay.
That's really cool.
Yep, we'll be there in Tacoma.
I was,
Hello, Cassius. Thanks for joining us.
That's one thing that actually warms my heart more than anything ever, is in the last couple months where multiple people have come up to me and said, you've taught me something, you've taught me this, and I really appreciate it. And it makes me feel useful. It makes me feel very good that I've helped people kind of learn something, you know. So if I died tomorrow, I want to make sure that someone has learned something from my brain somewhere.
This is a cool view. Fliptronic asked, do you have a remote cam to quickly show the default player unit position when the black cam is in the open switch position?
What? I didn't catch that. I'm confused. I was trying to follow that, but I didn't know what was going on.
No, I'm trying to focus here. No, Razer, why?
Get these things snug. Don't tighten them all the way down with permanence until you confirm that the bank doesn't need to be slid forward or backward at all. You want to make sure that you can punch the drop target down from the front without it getting caught on the rubber whatsoever. There's a teeny butt hair of adjustability on these banks. So again, though, make sure your hands are clean. I kind of did this out of order because the game is already rubbered, etc.
This camera is sad. Fliptronic said, curious what game over player unit stepper position. What the game over player unit stepper position is. I may have said it wrong.
Do you have a surf champ or a surfer? I mean, it's a... I don't know. I'd have to turn the game on, and I can do that at some point, but if you pull out the manual, the actual manual should tell you exactly. Maybe it doesn't. It tells you the position of the cams. I can look. I can see if I can get the game to reset, and then I can get that information to you. But if you sit there and paw through the actual stepper, you can kind of see where it goes. Give me a sec. Nah, we'll just turn it on. Give me a moment. If we don't do it today, I'll get you that information ASAP. So let's see. I need to put down the series switch. Where my screws at? Yeah, absolutely. It's way easier to do it at the bench.
Better than standing on your head.
Always way better than standing on your head. Let's see. The one thing that I don't have my handy dandy screwdriver that like holds the flathead screws for you. So sometimes when I'm doing this, I try to get them in by hand by like a thread or two before I pull out the tool.
Fuzzy Cord says, apparently Gottlieb has 3 different surf games.
Really? Yeah,
Surf Champ, Surfer, and Gottlieb's Baywatch. I'm just kidding. About the 3rd one.
Well,
come on, Cameron, please.
Surf Champ and Surfer are the same game. It's just one is the 2-player and one is the 4-player.
Surfside, 1967.
Oh, interesting. Nice. Okay.
Surfing was the hotness. You're making games up in cold Chicago. Maybe you're like, want to think of the warm days of surfing in the West Coast. Oh, please hold. Please hold.
Oh, I was like, oh crap, these things are so loose, and then I forgot, oh yeah, because I took the pop bumpers apart.
That's next.
I did that.
That's the next show.
I did that. Yeah, we're probably out of time, huh? Yeah, I don't know if I will even do that on the show, but I will show off some of the differences in Gottlieb pop bumper parts. I'll probably do this all on my own. Because I would like to start working on some other things.
My Aztec pop bumpers, and I have to go back to that awesome PinTech live video where you did the whole pop bumper assembly, because it's the skirts are chipped, super chipped. So I want to replace those.
Yeah, you're gonna wanna take them, replace everything.
And I remember the spoon and Paul, and you had to like get it perfectly aligned.
Yeah, you're gonna want to replace it all, just because there's if you have to take it all apart, so you might as well put all new nice shinies back in. Here, really quick, and then let me solder this back together.
Is Kyle showing off? Hey, Colin Baxter. No, he's not showing off.
I've got nothing to show off. Welcome to the show, friend of the show,
Kyle's
Colin Baxter.
Flexing.
I don't have anything to flex. I have 0 muscles.
So you finished the drop targets. You just replaced the actual targets, and you didn't have to replace any other parts.
Nope.
And then now you're soldering the wires back onto the switches.
I'm soldering the coil back on right now, and then I will be soldering the 2 wires on for the scoring switches. Yeah.
Awesome. And then that's it?
And that's it.
Wow, that's really cool.
Now we've got brand new drop targets in our old game.
Awesome. Oh, he heard you say you were going to show off. So he was wondering what you were showing off.
Oh, I'm going to show off the differences in Gottlieb pop bumper bits and how people do it wrong sometimes. Well, depending on if you want factory correct, which I kind of like. So, if any of you don't know, I like everything to be factory correct. But hey, you know what I was kind of thinking is like, this is a customer's game, and I kind of want to continue trying to get it done. And there's a few things I'd like to continue trying to do on PinTech. I'd like to work on vector. I've kind of pushed that off a little bit. I need to get the playfield into a good spot, and then lay the Mylar down. Once I have the Mylar down, then we can start doing that game on PinTech again, and we can try to get vector playable. Sorry.
What does that smoke taste like? He's not tasting it.
I'm keeping my nose shut.
Yeah. He's shut his nose flaps.
That's right. You get really good at holding your breath when you solder a lot. But I'd also like to do Baywatch. I've mentioned this, I think, on the show. I have found a spare 64 dot matrix that I have a note on from 5, 6, 7 years ago that says "good" with a question mark. So we have something to go off of. And I'd really like to get my Baywatch going. I bought that game from Mark last year, and to me, it's kind of a fun remembrance of Mark. The guy that
I thought you were going to put a
Marco.
color DMD in it.
I don't make enough money to buy a color DMD. I need a bonus or something. So we're going to put the original DMD in there look, if all of the DMDs that I do have, we will get a color DMD. I can probably afford that in the budget somewhere, but I'd like to get that out and get it finished. My friend Jody, who was on the show, Ramp-O-Matic, he actually has reproduced the Baywatch ramps. So maybe I might need a new ramp for my Baywatch or something, but we'll figure something out, But I'd like to get that game going. It's a fun tribute for Mark. I'd like to put it out on the, maybe bring it to the office for a while or put it on location or something. But I'd like to get it done. I'm tired of looking at it for the past 2 years. So, yeah. Anyways, let's look at some Gottlieb pop bumper stuff. There are some things that Gottlieb did differently than everyone else, and you can avoid making the mistakes that some people do by using the correct things. One thing Gottlieb installed on every single game, let's just use this pop bumper here. I'll bring this camera in and you can use it.
I was like, yeah, I don't know what camera to. Okay.
This stand is broken also, Moto. It doesn't stay tight anymore. This pile stand, I need to fiddle with it. Okay, so pop that thing on. This is a factory original. What's wrong?
The stand's broken. Sad.
Yeah, it's kind of sad. Gottlieb used non-adhesive Mylar trim platters.
Oh, wow.
I always install Mylar or use these things underneath pop bumpers when I take them apart and install them. That is like the #1 spot for wear on all pinball games. OEMs got smart. In the 80s, sometimes you would have half circles, or sometimes they would Mylar the pop bumper garden on some games. Stern applies Mylar underneath all of their pop bumpers. But Gottlieb used these, and they're kind of a double-edged sword. Since they're not adhesive, they do let dirt come in from the underside, on someone who maybe never cleaned their game, or again, the operator kept it really clean, but once it went into someone's house, they never did. And then the dirt underneath and the action turned into sandpaper, and then you have no paint underneath these. But if you keep your games clean, these are great, and they're not permanent, and they don't stick to the game, and they won't lift paint off if you have to take them up or anything like that. Gottlieb used non-adhesive Mylar pop bumper platters. If you're doing a Gottlieb game and you want it to be correct, use these. We do sell them. And that's the part number. It's a Gottlieb part number, but that is the yeah. Anyways, Gottlieb also used pointed pop bumper skirts. Do you see that point?
Yes.
This is a Gottlieb only thing. If these are on any of your other games, they are incorrect. Do they do the exact same thing? Yeah, but Gottlieb only used pop bumper skirts with a point.
Why?
So the ball can't ever land here and get stuck. Right? So if the ball ever went to the top of the pop bumper, right, and these need to be facing up. It makes me go like, argh, every time I see one of these damn things and the point is facing towards the flippers, right? It's like, what the hell? That's not...
Wait, okay, so the point should be facing the opposite way of the flippers.
The point should be up because, as the ball is rolling down if it ever hit the bumper and didn't activate the actual pop, this would kind of suggest the ball rolls one way or the other. And it's very often I see these things where people aren't paying attention. They install them facing downwards, which does nothing. It's whatever, not everyone can know everything, but I'm trying to teach you guys now. When you're doing a Gottlieb game,
that's awesome.
all Gottlieb games, so from like the first game with a pop bumper all the way until whatever, barbed wire was the last game, they all use these. So if you're doing Gottlieb pop bumpers and you want to do them factory correct, get the pointy skirts. It's kind of neat too, because I'm pretty sure that, they all come from the original molds too. So you might be able to see it, but you see the original injection molding tool is still used. So they say Gottlieb on the bottom.
That's cool.
Yeah, and it has the part number at the bottom.
Hey, CNK. CNK new. That's awesome.
You can't really see the part number as easy, but it's stamped in on the other side. Anyways.
Yeah.
So yeah,
cool.
There's just a couple little intricacies, and I like to, use the right parts for the right job, so we're gonna do that. Yeah, that's pinball for you. What other things do I need to do on this project? I need to.
Well,
hold on, we're not done yet. We haven't done this in like a month. We got more to say. One thing I will recommend people do also, put the handy cam on,
all right.
please. If you've got old games like this, it is a good idea to replace the out hole plastic bit. These things can crack. There's a plastic bit that hinges, and that's what closes the switch. And if those things crap, it sucks. This game uses 2. So that's a good one to replace. I do need to clean all this up. It's gross. I'm probably just going to hit it with a scouring pad and some Novus. I want to clean it up, but I'm not going to polish the ever-living crap out of this thing because the customer doesn't care. He just wants it to be really nice. And I'm going to get it to that point. My other problem with this game, let me show this too. And I'll be able to get this. I just have to be really careful with it. Is cleaning the apron. Can you put the small cam on again, handy cam again?
Mm-hmm.
So I was able to get. Oh, that's blown out. I was able to get most of the schmutz out of this thing and get it to be white again. It was pretty dirty. But the ink that they used on these aprons is extremely, extremely, extremely sensitive. You can see where I took off a little bit of paint here just by gently using some Novus on a rag. And like very, very dissipated Novus, right? I didn't just like cream it all over the rag and then start rubbing. This was like worked in Novus on the corner of a rag, and I just going like 1, 2 until it would clean up. So you have to be very, very gentle when cleaning up old aprons. The white is pretty sturdy. It's the inks that they put on after the white that is very difficult to clean. I could probably clean that smudge out using some Novus. A lot of times what I'll do is I'll just spit on a rag and then rub it in and see if I can get the dirt and stuff off with maybe just the abrasion of like a microfiber or a raggy towel. But this is damaged. I don't think this is it. No, that's actually, I think this is part of an old tax stamp. This stuff's on here really hard, and I'm pretty nervous to tackle it just because it is so damn close to the flipper button graphic. What I might end up doing is getting a paper towel and saturate it with Novus. Maybe naphtha, and lay it down gently in sections. And I have to grow my thumbnail back, but this is the best tool you have for doing this job without doing damage. Saturate the adhesive, get this stuff all wet, and then you can get in there with your thumbnail and try to start peeling it away. I've tried to use plastic scrapers sometimes, and sometimes those are still hard enough to mar and dig into the white surface. So I'm going to try my damnedest to save this thing. a giant part of me is saying just leave it. And
Carrie Hardy says try WD-40.
He
sighed.
I'm nervous.
Keep WD-40 away from my pinball machines.
No. WD-40 is actually really good at removing adhesive because it is oily. I just get really nervous about what the WD-40 is going to do to the ink, right? So generally I use lighter fluid. Lighter fluid is basically naphtha, just a little more flammable, but it's also very gentle.
Yeah, that's what Grumpy says he uses.
So I think you're probably right, Carrie. That's probably something I could totally do. I'm just really nervous to try something new because I really don't, with it being so close to that graphic, if I screw it up, I mean, it's a massive failure. So.
It's gone forever.
So I don't know. We'll see. I don't want to just leave it because getting rid of that would make the game so gorgeous, but at the same time, it's just kind of in a really weird spot.
Oh, yeah. And speaking of Carrie Hardy, he just did a great video review of John Chad's new book.
Oh,
so
cool.
Y'all should check it out and then go ahead and buy that book. Like Kyle said, we have it on our website, but if you can't get it on our website, then definitely try to order it from your local bookstore and keep them thriving.
Yeah, for sure. If you don't have a local bookstore,
in the chat so you guys can watch it after we end the stream and get hyped for this epic book.
It's so cool. If you don't have a local bookstore, we have them, and you should get it. But if you do have one, support those guys too. We always appreciate the support, but your local bookstores are a treasure, and they're going away fast. So. Yeah, painter's tape over the decal isn't a bad idea. This apron's not like damaged. If it was rusty at all, I wouldn't do that because you might end up separating the paint from the apron. But I think I'm just going to be really, really, really methodical and take it really slow. But it'll make the game look so much better if I can get that adhesive off. And there's a lot of overspray on the side of the cabinet too, from when someone decided to paint the front of the game blue. But I think I can get a lot of that overspray off just using Novus on a rag. Spray paint is pretty easy to demolish. The inside of this coin door is super rusty, so I need to figure out how far I'm going to go with it. The guy wants it, again, to be nice, but I don't know if he also wants, like, you know, $800 in cleaning. So, yeah. Anyways, that's my spiel. Kyle's spiel. Hey, David, if you're still here, no, I'm not ruining my 2001. Be nice to my game. David, do you know, I think I assembled this wrong, but I was also kind of doing it blind. Can you put the small camera on again, Emoto? I'm sorry.
Yeah.
For these posts here, I don't know, they're not wrong because this is where the plastics need to go, right? Plastics roll over this. I don't know if factory would have been the stud going on top of the lane guide or not. Do you know if the hex portion of the post is supposed to be on top or below of this lane guide? It doesn't look right, but it also looks right, so I'm not sure. But it was definitely assembled incorrectly from the get-go, so I don't remember how Gottlieb did that. It is below. Okay, I did it right then. Thank you. Well, I want multiple. I want all the opinions, but we'll see.
Hydrate.
Cheers, friend.
Where did your koozie go? Your Marco koozie.
I go away for 1 week and let all these people into this building and everything just disappears. Oh, found it. It was right where I left it, of course. You big dummy. But yeah, anyways, Can we do like a really quick Q&A? Does anyone have any questions for me that I
Yes.
talk about?
Actually, Transmission Arcade had a question from earlier. Said, if a DMD has failing lines, is there a way to revitalize it, or are they good until they aren't?
Yeah, generally they're good until they aren't, but try flipping the ribbon cable around on the drive to the DMD and see if that helps anything.
You can't. No yawning on camera.
If they're if they're out, that's one thing. But if they're starting to like fade out and you can see them like dimming from one end to the other, that generally means it's dying. But sometimes like outlines of data can be like a missing bit from a goofy cable. So try that. I'm not sure of the factory for stud and guide, but stud and nut above would make the guide sit as low as the others, and also make the nut more accessible with PAL nut tool when removing plastics. That's what I was thinking too, but I don't know. How about DMD freezing and gameplay continues? Depends on the game. A Stern game or a Data East game or a Sega game doing that would have very different symptoms than a Williams game doing that, but yeah. Look at all these parts. I've kind of got the ultimatum from my wife where she said I need to clean up my junk. I have too much crap in my house.
Eska.
Yeah, I need to get rid of... I don't want to keep it all in this building, because I'm afraid that sometimes it might go missing, but I need to keep it at home, but I need to organize things. So I might go and buy some nice plastic bins to start organizing stuff. Okay, so before we read the first-time chatter, thank you for joining us.
Yay.
Boise Pinball said dog soccer.
Doggy soccer.
So what I would say for dog soccer is, if you haven't done the ribbon cables, try that. But the Williams games, honestly, I don't know off the top of my head what to advise you other than try swapping ribbon cables around first. The dot matrix controller is kind of a satellite board. It has its own processor, but it's ordered to do things by the MPU. So I'd make sure that you have all the bits getting to the right place to continue showing the animations. I can't read.
Real quick. Yeah, Pinball at the Zoo is this weekend. Good luck to... Or it starts today? Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Good luck to RW99. I know a bunch of people going there.
That's awesome.
To play and compete. So
I was
good
just
luck to y'all.
talking with Terry from Pinball Life yesterday, and he said he's going to Pinball at the Zoo.
Nice.
So, yeah.
And for all of you that don't know, sorry to be a bearer of bad news, but it doesn't actually happen at a zoo. I don't know. It's in Kalamazoo, Michigan, right? Kalamazoo.
I think so.
Not at an actual zoo. You can't play pinball with monkeys and giraffes and lions. Just not going to happen.
You know what we did once at the Pacific Pinball Museum? There's this there's like a science museum kind of place in Golden Gate Park. We brought a bunch of pinball games and got to put them all in the underground aquarium. So it was like we put all these games next to this like gigantic shark tank sort of a thing, and that was
awesome.
really fun. I have pictures of it. I'll try to share them on Discord or something.
Yeah, that sounds great. So V Gat Chapman says, in the process of restoring a Data East JP. Just wanted to say thank you guys for having so many parts in stock. Yay! I probably made about 8 to 6 different orders for you guys over the past few days. Oh, that's awesome. And to let you know and to remind everyone else, every Thursday we have this awesome code that you can see scrolling right here. It is a discount for free shipping for orders over $99. It's active for 24 hours starting from our show till tomorrow. And $10 off international orders for orders over $99. So
Take advantage.
When you're making your big parts orders for your next project, stop by PinTech Live, this show, say hello, and grab your coupon code. We're trying to help you all out here. Kyle gets excited, jiggling his desk. My desk is jiggling too. You can hear it, but can't see it.
Yeah. No, yeah, we brought games to the Academy of Science thing a few times, but it was fun bringing them to that like corridor and stuff like that, but nothing beat putting a bunch of pinball games next to that aquarium. You could bring all the space-themed games and put them in a neat, like, you know, plaza
Mr.
as much as you
Look.
want, but setting up pinball games next to an aquarium, that was the coolest thing ever. Yeah. Playing Shadow. Wow, you're fancy. You have a fancy game like The Shadow. That's a
I
great
know.
game.
I tried to buy a Shadow a few weekends ago, and they were like, definitely not selling this. And I was like, well, when you do.
Mike has a Shadow for sale, but it's very
Really?
expensive because it's a prototype Shadow with a bunch of differences versus the production ones. Kind of cool.
That is really cool.
Yeah, hey, if anyone wants
I
the
will
most unique
pass.
Shadow that's also literally perfect,
How much is it? Can you say?
$9,000.
Oh, okay.
It's really neat
Yeah.
though. There's a lot of differences versus the production and the
I'd have to get a
factory
Godzilla
system.
Premium before a prototype Shadow, though, if I were to spend $9,000.
I don't remember who he got it from. I don't remember if he got it from Brian Eddy because that was the game he got when they did the game or whatever, but there's some interesting differences in like plastics and the colors of things, but if you want to be real fancy, you could get that. Oh, cool.
Fliptronic, I hope you can bring your Weird Al to the Weird Al concert. That should be good. You should just go guerrilla and have it out in the parking lot
Yeah,
and do
seriously.
it tailgating styley. Oh, the penguins are all
That's pretty
dressed
cool.
up in their suits.
I didn't go to that one, but that's really neat to have them set up in that place.
But then you'll miss the show. Hey, man, it's what dedication is all about.
Someone asked about restoring playfields, or replacing a playfield. It depends on the game that you're working on, but generally I like to do all the bottom stuff first and then do the top stuff. So when replacing a playfield, do I have to remove all the playfield pieces and start with bare wood? No, generally it's best recommended to transfer things over as you go. On Bally games, I generally prefer to do the bottom bit first, then maybe place it in the cabinet or support it somehow and then work on the top bit after. I'm about to rebuild a power supply for a Captain Fantastic home that your father-in-law just picked up. Good luck. Those things are kind of a pain to work on. There is a decent amount of documentation on them now. In the last couple of years, people have really spent a lot of time documenting them. But I know that it uses a interesting architecture for the actual electronics that drive the game, the intelligent bit. Doing the power supply, you got this. It's going to be easy. It's a real simple circuit. I don't think there's much to it. I don't think I've ever been to a Weird Al show. That would be fun. Oh, did you upload the pictures of Manu in the shirt, Emoto?
Yes, I did,
Really?
and I need to upload the. We just did a massive website update, so I have to swap the product photo out so it has higher resolution. But yeah, you can order the shirt with Wandu on it, and I'm gonna drop a link to Mystery Pinball Theater 3000's Twitch page too.
That's awesome. Captain Fantastic and the Brown Dirt Cowboy. It's a great piece of artwork. I think it's basically the artwork off of that album. I saw that one when I was record shopping in Chicago. I spent way too much money on records in Chicago, but it was fun.
I showed on the page. That's awesome. Yeah, I'm gonna go in and update that now, actually, while I'm here.
Yeah, do it.
So yeah, we have a few more minutes before we go and raid somebody on Twitch, and then y'all, we have 3 shows back to back coming up next weekend. First, we're gonna be in Milwaukee, Wisconsin for Midwest Gaming Classic. The following weekend, we will be at PinFest Allentown in Pennsylvania. And then weekend number 3, we will be in Lodi, California at the beautiful Golden State Pinball Festival. Thursdays are our setup days. So you will naturally, around this time, I will put up a setup camera so you can feel like you're part of the show for a little bit. Hopefully encourage you to get in your car and drive to the show and actually hang out with us. But we will not be doing any repair stuff on Thursdays for the next few weeks. So sorry.
That's to be determined.
Maybe Allentown.
Yeah, I'm not going to Pennsylvania. Personal chat. My mom is coming to visit. I haven't seen my mom in 2 years.
And he's gonna bring her on PinTech Live and work on pop bumpers.
Yeah, no, probably not. But there's a chance that I might be taking those days off. But if I'm not, I will stream. But it will be kind of a last minute thing. And honestly, like if that did happen, we'd probably be working on this game again. So, but yeah,
Old school
I might
we'd love to have you.
When playing and having beverages for Thirsty Thursday, do you ever challenge people to dollar machines? No. I usually don't play a lot of pinball at home. And if I do play pinball at home, my wife probably wouldn't want to play dollar games. So I'm not sure.
Yes, if you're coming to Lodi, stop by the booth and say hello. We can't wait to meet you.
That's going to be a crazy show for me because it's like I talk about, I haven't seen my mom in 3 years, but I also haven't, or 2 years. I haven't also seen all my friends in that same amount of time. And the Golden State Pinball Festival is my home show. That is my favorite one. We play all sorts of, I used to bring all sorts of games. The guy I used to work for, he would bring a bunch of games personally, and then when he became a pinball dealer, we'd also bring new games, but we'd also bring our personal machines too. So I remember, I think it was the 2018 Golden State show. I had just like finished swapping the playfield on my Xenon.
Oh, Dr. Pop, that's awesome.
Like 2 days before the show. So I just like finished swapping. It's like, oh, it all works great. And then I brought it to the show and it just worked the entire weekend. It was fantastic. But I used to bring my Spectrum, Xenon. I brought the 2 years. Baby Pac-Man was a common show bringer. I bring Mars Trek all the time. I don't know. I always like to try to bring an EM and a couple new old games, you know. Do we have any work on doing aesthetic and cleanup on playfields? Yeah, a couple of them. There's a few that we've done a little bit of work here and there, but I don't like to restore things. I just like to make things look good and then play them. No, my Mars Trek was not the one for sale. I don't sell anything, so that was definitely not mine for sale. Yeah, well, okay, so we do have a couple of videos on like cleaning some games here and there. I don't remember what we've really done it on. I remember when we were working on Strikes and Spares, I kind of experimented with the naphtha and the Magic Eraser, which I found to be awful, and I don't want to do that again. I'll tell you, most of the time when I'm cleaning a game, I just use Novus on a microfiber or a nappy rag. It does a great job. Novus #2 in the red bottle. It takes up all the dirt, clean it off, and then clean all the dirt off, buff the old Novus out, and then sometimes follow it up with a nice coat of wax, and you're good to go. I'm sorry I don't have my Spectrum still. I sold it.
Oh.
Oh, okay, yeah, we did a cleaning on Indy 500, so that's a good one to go to. That game was pretty nasty. I think I just showed how I clean games using Novus, and yeah. That was a long time ago. I was probably a lot less confident talking in front of a camera at that time, so. 2 Spectrums in Missouri. It's a beautiful game. It's just not a great game. That's a nice bubbly water. Anywho, yeah, I'm really looking forward to going to the Lodi show. I'm gonna go to In-N-Out with my friend Mike. We're gonna go record shopping the day after. I'm gonna take him to Oakland and San Francisco to all my old hangs. I get to see all my friends in the pinball world again. Back from California. That'll be a great time. I get to see Cliff. I'll get to see Mike and everyone at the Pacific Pinball Museum, all the great people that run the show. I get to see David. I'm gonna give him a big old high five. I'm sure I'll see other people. Mike Huntsman will be there. He's got an awesome collection of games. He'll usually bring a lot of really fun stuff out from Reno, Nevada. I think if we're probably going to go record shopping in San Francisco, so I'll probably show Mike Free Gold Watch. He's never been there, so if Manu's there, that would be great. If not, we can go look at my old 8-Ball Deluxe that still lives there. What else? I'm just really looking forward to it. I haven't been back to California in forever. Not that I really want to go back. I just want to go see all my friends, you know?
Oh.
Get all homesick sometimes,
Enjoy the nice
you know?
weather.
Yeah, hopefully the weather is nice. Oh, I get to see good old Mark Coward. He's a great guy in his great. I hope he's wearing his King Cobra hat. That's my favorite one. He's got like a bucket hat sort of a thing made out of King Cobra cans, which is really cool. And he also has a big
That's awesome.
a hot dog hat, which is really cool too. That'll be fun to see. That guy rules. He makes great sourdough bread. It used to be it used to be mine, and then I sold it to Chris, and then Chris kept it at 8 Free Gold Watch forever. I think that's the one. It was a first edition 8-Ball Deluxe with a 3rd edition playfield. So it had the pretty artwork, but it had the workable playfield with all of the what are they called? The twist-in sockets. So you're bringing him an Alf mask. That's amazing. All right, I'm excited to meet you too. Go back to Lodi, everyone's favorite city. Anyways, okay,
right.
we can
so
go.
as far as rating, Ice Skidoo just jumped on playing Stranger Things, and since he was hanging out in our chat up until this moment, I think we should go over there and hang out with him and see his cool setup. You cool with that, Kyle?
Yeah, absolutely. Because I was playing a ton of Stranger Things when I was at Mike's house, because he designed all the rules. He was teaching me how to play the game. And that was great.
I know. I taught my parents how to do the MXV skill shot. And so, like, anytime my dad actually gets it, he sends me a text on, like, how excited he is to get that skill shot on Stranger Things.
I really
it's, like, the most adorable thing ever.
I really, 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 really want that game. It's so good.
It's a great game. I'm glad I got it, too.
Yeah.
It's so much fun.
Anyways, yeah, thanks for joining. Sorry it's been a long time. Sorry I have to go to all these trade shows. But
don't be sorry. They get to meet you in person. Come on.
Yeah, that's fun too. But we'll work on some stuff. We'll keep doing this. We got to get to episode 100 at least, you know, sometime. So we got to keep pumping them out. We've been doing this for 2 years now. I found out when I looked back. It's been a long time.
That's
so
nuts.
Thanks for hanging in there with us and letting me be neurotic on camera. Hydrate. Okay. Well, hey, I got
And
water.
hydrate for Mr. Baxter. Yeah, thanks y'all so much. Yeah, see you in Tacoma, old school EMs. Kyle's not currently on the list, but maybe he could convince the higher ups to put him on the list. It's up to him.
Maybe. I'm kind of sick
y'all
of going
stick
on
around
planes, but I
and
really
we'll
want to
go
come.
to Ice Skidoo, show him some love, and we'll see y'all next week in Milwaukee.
Bye, friends.
Bye.
Bye, Internet.